Hello there and welcome to my YouTube channel, Juliet McNeil Crafts. So today is release day. It's always very excited. It's kind of more nervous-sighted. I'm excited to see what you all think, but I'm also nervous to see what you all think. And today is the first time we've got little critters. So when I first launched JMC Designs, I already had the first 3 launches prepared. So these, this is the next lot. So what I did is I put in my Facebook group when I first launched saying, what would you like to see? You can choose the 4th range that comes out. And you all mentioned critters, and in amongst that, foxes was mentioned. So I chose foxes because it seems quite an autumnal thing. So I thought it would go well for all your autumn makes. So I created these 4 little sweeties. So we have vanilla, we have nutmeg, we have cinnamon, and we have ginger. So I'd drawn these and I liked them, but they weren't quite weird and cookie-doo enough for me. You know, I like things a little bit different. And then I was watching my daughter playing with some of her toys, and she's got quite a few, you know, like princesses have their palace pets, and she's got these things called enchantimals, and they're these little girls, and they have a matching pet. So that is what I have done. So if I take ginger, so we have ginger, I'll put these to the side. So we have ginger and we have warmed cardamom. So that's the 2 of them together as a duo. And then you have warm cardamom on her own and ginger. Now this will sell as a bundle for £3.99. Okay, so normally, if you bear in mind that normally one of my images, so if you were to buy just her normally, it would be £2.99. So for £1 extra, you're getting 3 images. So even if you feel that this is just a repeat and you could have merged the 2 together yourself, if you take that, that is less than half price for what you're normally paying for those. So for £3.99, you're literally almost paying £1.99 for that and £1.99 for that, which is £1 cheaper than normal, and then you're getting that one for free. So it is quite a good bargain. There's going to be no single images in this collection because I've got quite a lot, as you will soon see. So that will be a bundle of £3.99. So they all come with their own girls. So now we have, let me see, move it together. We have spiced apple and cinnamon. So that's them together. There's cinnamon on her own, and there's spiced apple on her own as well. I don't know why, but it's suddenly a very weird version of Anne of Green Gables going on there. You'll see why when I get to the sentiments. But I was suddenly like, oh, green hair. So again, those 3 will come in a bundle of £3.99, and we have a spiced apple and cinnamon. Okay. So then we have pumpkin spice. I love her. I love her. I love her. I love her. She's my favourite. I actually drew her while my daughter was playing in the park. And this is what's inspired all the names, because I drew her and then I named her Pumpkin Spice, and then, I don't know, the Spice Girls just popped into my head. But obviously that's probably very slightly copyrighted. So instead we have our Autumn Allspice collection. We've got our Allspice ladies. So in my mind, ages and ages ago, so I've drawn her, I'll show you there. Ages and ages ago, I drew something very similar to this, not quite as thingy, with Cinderella in my head, because it was just an unusual take that she was in a pumpkin dress and stuff like that. It was just a bit different. So I think I've got a little bit of Cinderella going on, a little bit of the Queen of Hearts going on, and a little bit of Maleficent. Very strange mix that, but I don't know, she appeals to my inner sense of madness. So yeah, we've got pumpkin spice and vanilla. So again, those 3 will come together in a collection. And then finally we have anise, Oakley and nutmeg. Now I love how her dress turned out. I don't know, I was quite chuffed with that. And my grandparents' second name was Oaks, so I don't know, it's like we all kind of came from the oak tree. I don't know. It's just, so yeah. So that's why we've got anise, Oakley there, and nutmeg. So that's the 2 of them together, and then we have them separately. So I'd done all of that, and I was like, that's really cool. Wouldn't they look great with backgrounds? So, oops. let me introduce you to Clove Close. So this is a set of really quirky houses, and then the idea is that you can, you know, put your thing on. If you check our lovely Jan, she doesn't have a YouTube channel, but she's on Facebook, and she's got an amazing blog. She's done the most amazing slider card with this, and I think it's warmed cardamom. So there we go. So this is Clove Close. Again, just named that because I was in an autumn spice mood by the time I finished. So we've got that. And that, and again that will be £3.99 for the Clove Close and Clove Gardens. So again, this is like meant to be like sort of like a bit of a street lamp, but we've got it in the thing of an acorn. Those are sort of pumpkin-y type shaped flowers, and we've got mushrooms. But honestly, these houses and these flowers could be used any time of year. In fact, part of me wants to do like a spring, summer, autumn, winter make with these, just to kind of show that to you, but I've done well getting all of this coloured up in time, to be honest. Right, and then finally, as always, if you buy the entire collection, so that will include the houses, it will include all the girls and their little pets, so everything that we've looked at so far, you can get all of that, plus our accessories. So we have a little apple, we have pumpkin, we've got a little acorn, an oak leaf, a little quirky mushroom, and a pile of books, because it's all sort of blends in with what we've got with the girls. So we have those accessories, and then the sentiments. So a real mix of sentiments this time. We've got thank you, thankful for you, because this, whereas it pumpkin spice, as I said, was sort of loosely based on Cinderella. Looks nothing like her, but you know, in my head. I've got the sentiment, I stayed up past the stroke of midnight because she turned into a pumpkin. We've got pumpkin pie, pumpkin spice, and all things nice. This one I said I was inspired by Anne of Green Gables, hence the green hair when she turns her hair green. It says, I'm so glad I live in a world where there are Octobers, and that of course is a quote from Anne of Green Gables and Ellen Montgomery there. We've got crisp apples, falling colourful leaves, burning candles, crackling fires, fluffy sweaters, cosy socks. That's why I love autumn. This one's a bit deep. The trees are about to show us how lovely it is to let dead things go. And then autumn wishes. So a real mix of sentiments there, whether you want to go for quirky, sweet, just plain thank you. And those. Now, so these two are only available as part of the full bundle. They're not part of, you can't get them on their own. And the full bundle will be £14.99. So again, that is only, normally it's £12.50 for a full bundle. But there's way more in this than normal. So what I'm going to do is I have printed off spiced apple onto some music paper, and I was going to do a sort of collage-y journal spread with her. So I will just gather my stuff together and quickly put her together for you. Okay, so I have got a book here, The Magic of Herbs, that I bought in the charity shop there for £1.49, and I thought I would turn this into an art journal. I got this page here because it's got nice autumny colours. What I'm going to do is just, let me see, make sure I don't tear the wrong one. What I've done, I think eventually what I want to do is to do a series of videos that will be Digital Stamps 101, to look at the fact that you can do lots of different things. So this one, as I said, I've printed her out on music sheets and I've coloured her in with my Prisma pencils. I think what I'd actually like to try and do is to do that again, but gesso it and then try with it gouache. But you know, I've already prepared that for today. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have to do bits of this on fast forward because my explanation of the all the girls took quite a bit of time. I have just literally, I have got some book paper and some music notes, and I'm just going to kind of put them together and adhere all of that down a little bit. I'm not even thinking, I don't have a plan, I'm just sort of sticking stuff down to see what happens. So what I'll do is I'll maybe pop you on fast forward for that, and I will stop when we have interesting things to let you know. some reason I cannot find my palette knife anywhere. It's because I wanted to do some texture. So I've found an old found an old card. I've been looking at palette knife sets in the range for a while. Maybe it gives me the necessity to to go and do that. In the meantime, we'll do this. Yeah, so what I've done is I've just put some book paper and music paper on. I've used a combination of white gesso and clear gesso. The reason I use the clear is it gives a tooth. It's going to protect my image and give a tooth. It has all wrinkled up a bit, but you know, that's part of the joys of mixed media and journaling, so that's okay. Right, I should really have sheets underneath this. I might do that a bit later. I always forget about that till later. Right. So, yeah, so the reason I do that as well is when you've stuck a load of sheets on like that, it can look a bit disjointed. It does just look like you've stuck random bits of paper on together. So to make it all look cohesive and as one, as it should be, make it look deliberate, if we're able to tie it together a little bit, and we can do that through colour and you know, the bit of gesso just going over the edges, so you'll notice it's mostly the edges that I've done, and that's why it's just to sort of tie it all together. So what I'm going to do now is put this modelling paste on and go and get my lunch and let this dry a little bit. I've also decided, just because of the scale of her, she's not huge, so I'm just going to do a one-page spread, and I'll maybe do another girl and do that another day. So I'm just sticking with this page now. So I am going to let that dry, and then we'll come back and maybe do a bit of colouring and work out how to finish it off. Okay, so my modelling paste is now dry, and I am going to play with watercolours to sort of bring all of that to life. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bit of gesso. I'm just working in my gesso lid. I'm going to take a bit of gesso and kind of sort of water that down a little bit. And what I want to do is just white out around the girl, because at the minute she's a little bit lost. It's nice that we've got her, but I also don't want to lose the music sheet. I probably could have done with a slightly finer brush. Got one here, let's see. I'll use that for once. For the details, I think I might need a little brush. So what I just want to do is just white out just around her a little bit, oops, sorry, so that she stands out just that little bit more. Instead, we can still see the newspaper. We can still see the music paper through it, and we could anyway, because you know, even with the colouring we could. So we can, but it's just so that there's a little bit of difference between her and the paper. But what I'll do is I'll pop you on fast forward. Okay, so I'm hoping you can really see that that has made such a huge difference. Oh, sorry, that's because I'm opening some pens. I've got some of my Ecoline pens out here, and I was just going to choose some of the teals and some of the yellows and do a little bit of colouring or colour into the page just to try and... Now I've put gesso on here, so I'm hoping, I'm not going to do too much in case that ends up not moving and I have to use a different, yeah, there we go. So what I'm wanting to do now is just to add a bit of watercolour. I mean, you could do this, you don't have to use pens for this, any sort of watercolour that you have. Now, because I have added the gesso, this is why we've done it, because now we're going to get the movement. Now I don't want to tip, I do want it to drip and stuff, but I also don't want to tip the book up too much because I don't want it going on to my girl. Oh, I likey. Okay, I'm going to have to be careful not to put too much water onto that, so we'll maybe do some over here. So I'm just sort of colouring round, it's bringing out the texture a little bit. I love putting teal and yellow together because you get the real contrast between the bluey teal, and then you get the best lime green in the world from putting teal and yellow together, and it just really pops. I love it. So I'm going to add this. Now I think there's little bits there where the gesso maybe hasn't gone on quite as thick, because look at the movement of that, it's great, isn't it? Okay, so I might have to mop some of that up and then let that dry. Okay, so I'm loving the splash of colour that's done. It's just all still looking a bit too wide, so I'm going to bring it together now. I've got my Distress Ink black soot, and I'm just going to blend around the edges because having a dark edge will bring the eye in, and then I will probably do a doodle border, and then I'm thinking a wee sentiment, and hopefully that should be as done. So I'll pop you on fast forward while I do all that. Okay, I am liking how this is looking so far, but having brought the dark in, I've lost some of the brightness of the white, so I'm just going to put some more gesso on with my finger in certain areas so that we've got areas that are bright white, because I think we've just kind of lost that a little bit. And it's the contrast between light and dark that gives variety to life. That's always what you see in nature, you know. That's what makes things striking. So I just need a bit more white. Actually, it doesn't look too bad in the screen, but in front of me, I can feel it. Okay, so I've done that, and then what I am going to do, I am loving how this turned out because the paper got so wet. And when I sprayed the colour, it's like there's kind of like little blue watermarks and stuff. It's great. Okay. I'm going to put Collector of Memories because, I don't know, she reminds me of Anne of Green Gables, and I love reading the book Anne of Green Gables, and also my daughter has this thing that every October she goes and picks the apples with her granny and granddad. So kind of, let me see, I'll live this life up here, and then maybe one more. Let me see, this happy life. Okay. Okay, so we have a few sentiments in there, and then now I'm just going to grab a scrap bit of card and protect her a little bit, and because she has pink hair and we've not used pink in the background, I am going to add a few little pink splashes. This is my Spectrum Noir liquid watercolour, and I'm just going to use that, and I'm just going to turn my page around so that all the paint splatters don't go in the same direction. So we'll add a few little, got quite a narrow brush, so we've got quite small, sorry, we're getting dizzy watching that now. Okay, yeah, I like. Okay, so that is my art journal page using the gorgeous Spiced Apple from my new range. Please do check out what the other girls have done. They are amazing. They are my dream team for a reason. I have seen what some of the things that Dawn's made. I've seen what Emma's made, and I have seen some things that Jan's made, and oh, I'm blown away. Amazing. Can't wait to see what Laura and Aimee have done. So as soon as I've finished here, I'll be popping over there to see how they have used these images. So full collection, $14.99. You can have them as a group of $3.99. One thing I forgot to mention, you can get all 4 girls, just the girls on their own, for $9.99, and all 4 foxes, just the foxes on their own, for $9.99. So lots of varieties of ways that you can make the get this kit. And I think what I will do is print off another girl onto music paper, and we'll maybe do the other side at a later date. Thank you once again. If you've enjoyed it here, please do consider liking and subscribing, and I will be back again very soon. Okay, take care then, and goodbye.